Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Working Trader. And this week, we are going to be looking at the Euro USD as always, focusing on the daily, 4-hour, and 1-hour time frames. For our analysis and trade ideas, please, if you like the content I'm making, please like, subscribe, hit the notification button to be notified whenever I release a new video. But pretty much every day throughout the week, we'll be looking at these trades and setting up our charts and helping you make trading decisions with the analysis that we make. So without further ado, let's jump straight to Forex Factory. I always like to look at the news just to see where we may expect volatility. So today's Monday. This week, today is 1 December, and it's a Monday. So we do have this manufacturing ISM PMI news that will affect the US dollar. I don't think it will do much. Monday is usually a low range or low volatility day, so there may not be much happening, particularly in the morning. And I think the high impact news, we expect to see it on Thursday. That's 1:30. So this high impact news 1:30, that's where this might then set the tone for Friday. But as it stands, we do have news on Monday and on Wednesday. So let's look at the charts and see what they are presenting. So recapping Friday we had this price mitigated this daily supply and then started to push down. So this was on Thursday. We're saying price was pushing up so that it at least mitigates this daily supply, which it did, after which you started to see price pushing down. Okay, now if we look at the 4-hour, we have this demand area, right? We have this demand area, all right, where I was saying this first part, this inside bar, I was expecting that to be liquidated and then for price to push in, and then we would see a reaction, and most likely that reaction would then expect that to be run over as well, deeper. Now obviously, because of the size of the zone, right, probably there wasn't much reward to the risk. Okay, but our expectation was that once price mitigates, at least this becomes a weak high, and we expect that to at least be mitigated. All right, we expect that high to be taken. Now looking at the 1 hour, you see that let me fix that. So looking at the 1 hour, we had right, so price did mitigate the 4-hour demand. Price mitigated demand, and then you can see this extreme demand on the 1 hour. Let me just set it up. Right, so we say that because of the size of this 1 hour, the reward will not be there, because if I use my reward to risk tool, if we set up an entry at the proximal of the 1 hour demand, by the time we hit the week high, it's only like 0.8. okay, so ideally you would have looked, say, maybe at the 15-minute, And then on the 50-minute, there was an extreme demand, and you can see price just went in, tapped it, and rocketed away from that area and went on to take out our weak swing high. So that would have been a better trade idea. So you can see that would have been a 6-hour trade. However, because we are focusing on the 1 hour for you guys, all right. So this was Friday. So looking ahead for today, let's go back to the daily. So remember, our swing range is bearish, all right. So this is our swing high, swing low. This is internal. So because internal is still bearish, now it's bearish because it's facilitating the daily pullback. Okay, we're bearish because we're simply facilitating the daily pullback. So what will happen is, or rather we expect that this week daily internal low could be run. So this week could be the week where price tanks and takes out this week low to at least mitigate this extreme demand that is unmitigated, where we can then expect price to then switch bullish if the bullish swing trend is to continue. So the swing trend is still bullish, all right? Swing trend is still bullish, but our internal trend is bearish, okay? So we've had this mitigation of this supply where they push down, and then we have this mitigation of this new supply which was created, all right? However, it being a weak supply because it only took out fractal structure, okay? It only took out this fractal structure, right? But still, we are still expecting this weak low to be run, okay? That's our expectation on the bearish side. Now, on the bullish side, because we are in a swing, right? Because we are in a swing, we're in a swing bullish trend. If I use my premium discount tool, all right, price has already mitigated extreme demand, okay? Yes, it hasn't mitigated this extreme demand zone, unmitigated zone, but we are in the extreme of the discount range, okay? As you can see, we are already in the extreme of the discount range. So it is highly likely that this could be the higher low that has been formed, okay? That this is the new high low that has been formed, and now price is starting to create new higher lows, okay? And then now this could be where we break this high, okay? And then come back and then start going, and then, you know, eventually target the extreme daily swing week high. So those are the two possibilities, all right? But at the moment, if we go down to our 4 hour, order flow is still bullish, okay? Order flow is still bullish. The smaller ranges, we are still bullish. However, right now we can say there's no more reason for price to continue bullish because it has already fulfilled this objective, okay, where that week high has already been taken, okay? That week high has already been taken. So this could then lead to price, you know, continuing to push down from this point onwards. So from a 4 hour perspective, there's not much except price is stuck in this range, okay? Price is stuck in this range. It has already fulfilled this objective. So what has happened is we now have a choke, okay? We now have a 4 hour choke right there. We now have a 4 hour choke right there, okay? So this could be the start of an indication that price is now switching bearish. Now, this chalk could only be a chalk just for price to do this. So let me change that. So that's been mitigated. All right. And now that could be a chalk just for price to come down and do that. Okay. For price to just come down and mitigate this newly formed demand to then, continue bullish. However, this demand is weak. All right. As yes, we've had break of structure right there. We've also had break of structure. So this demand has already been eliminated. So now the expectation is that price is going to tank at least to this POI. Okay. So currently, that would be the idea, that price is going to tank to mitigate that POI. So this one has already been mitigated. Now price could still come in and make a deeper pullback. Okay. However, the only available, what happened here? Okay, I pressed the wrong button. However, the only available POI on the 1 hour is that one. Okay, that's the only available POI to trade from. Okay, now there has been a slight mitigation. Okay, right there, there's been a slight mitigation. Of course, we do have an imbalance and we do have another imbalance. So those are reasons for price to come. Now, if price keeps on coming in correctively, okay, this could be a good area again for price to shoot up. Okay, so pretty much as of now, this is the only trade idea I can see. Okay, this is the only trade idea I can see that is valid or that is available. However, we are coming from a daily supply zone. Okay, we're coming from a daily supply zone. So because we're coming from a daily supply zone, it is also highly likely, right? It is highly likely that this 4-hour demand will fail. Okay, it is highly likely that this 4-hour demand will fail. Okay, but as it stands, this is the trade idea. We are bullish. Okay, so bullish from this area. All right, and let's see what that is. That would be 11, 13. Yeah, it's not too bad. You don't expect price to reach too far. Okay, won't be expecting price to reach too far. But yeah, that's the trade idea for the day. Okay, so we'll see you tomorrow. This is the working trader. Just getting ready to go to work now. Okay. If you're liking this content, if you're seeing value in this daily analysis on the Euro USD, please hit like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and leave a comment. All right. Have a good day. Bye.